Sup YouTube, Leo here. So I told you guys I was going to do the headlight restoration video just due to the moisture we have out today. I'm not going to be able to do that one for you guys today, but tomorrow we're definitely going to be working on those. Today we're going to be working on a 93 Honda Civic VX from Canada. It's got a couple issues, one being the heat, the blend door cable isn't working, and then the other one is our windshield washer switch. Replace the windshield washer switch and also hopefully be able to fix the heater switch. Now I have worked on this unit before where it wasn't working at all, so we replaced the head unit in it. But now for some reason the cable is not allowing it to select from cold to hot, so therefore it only blows ice cold air or whatever the temperature is outside versus what is being produced from the engine itself. So without further ado, let's get started. So we got a brand new part here. This is the switch accumulator interrupter switch here, so we're going to be putting this guy in, and let's get started. So first things first, you're going to want to give yourself plenty of room. I'm kind of a big guy, so the more room I can get, the better. I encourage you guys to set yourself up with one of these packs here. This pack is basically designed to have every tool, and this is out of my own tool set, and I carry it with me in any car that I drive. And the zipper's stuck, hold on. Okay. So this has every single tool I need to take a car completely down to ground zero and rebuild it. And you say, well, why would I need to have all those tools? And the reason being is if it ever breaks down on you and you're stuck on the side of the road and you're somewhat mechanically inclined, you don't have to call AAA to get a tow out, because you can easily fix your own car. And hopefully this guy pops out of here. So today we're going to work on getting this unit out, and we're also going to be replacing this piece of paper that holds this thing in that's busted off of there. So first things first, we're going to do the wiper switch, where you can see, like, I barely touch this thing and it just kind of wibble wobbles all around. So it definitely is broken to the point that when I turn the key on, the wipers naturally engage. So there's some screws down below on these. Usually they're Phillips. So if you have a Honda Civic, guys, I definitely recommend go ahead, pull those out, take them into a parts store and go ahead and get the Torx bits. And the reason being is because when someone jacks your Honda, all they're going to do is take those little screws out and bye-bye Honda. Whereas if they're Torx bits and they're galvanized, unless they bring that special tool with them, they ain't getting it open. And good luck spending like 10 to 15 minutes with a freaking hammer trying to bust all the plastic off of it. So it definitely buys you some time. Your Honda won't be driving down the street a day later. So we're going to need a standard Phillips screwdriver for this one. And let's get underneath and take them screws out of there. So one of them is going to be right here, where you see these little holes here. You just take Phillips screwdriver up in there and try and get it on the screw. Not a lot holds these in. There's why I encourage you, if you haven't already, to swap these out with Torx bits. I can hotwire a Honda in about 2 minutes. So this one I'm going to take my time on. APC also makes these almost like a gun safe key, which are pretty awesome. They're a pain in the ass to put in, but once you have them in, you're pretty much legit. Like, you don't have to worry about, because it's like a round key, which you have to put in and turn. And then also for the doors, it comes with 3 keys, and they're about 70 bucks, guys, but in a couple hours to pop them in. But once you do that, like, I don't care who you are, you're not driving away with a Honda. Like, because you ain't going to be able to hotwire that once it's put in if you do it correctly. So this one, I've already got this whole thing pretty much loose. I'll take this guy out. This is a long screw on this one. This isn't factory, so whoever put this in, just put some random ass screw in here. They're usually really short, like that one I just showed you. However, this one is a bit longer. These two. Non-tilt steering wheel on this one, so it's a little bit trickier. Basically the top part of these just kind of click in and should just pop right down like that. So you just give a nice little tug, guys, and this whole bottom section just pops right off of here. Top section just pops right off like so. You just grab it and kind of work it out. Sometimes it's easier if you kind of turn the wheel, and then bam, these screws out. And with how old this is, I'm going to try and do it without stripping them. Capturing this. There's a screw right where my screwdriver is, and then there's one up above, like up in here. So you're just going to pop these two off, and this whole unit will just slide out here for you. And then you just unplug it, plug the new one in, screw it back down, put the plastics back on it, and you call it a day. It's really that easy. Alright guys, the next step, you're going to take out these little screws here. The reason I take out the main screws, it just makes it easier to manipulate the device. A lot of people don't take those out, and then these things don't always want to just come out. They're just two little tiny ass screws like that. See, I just keep all my hardware together. And yeah, so we just grab this guy and just kind of wiggle her, and it should just pop right out of here for you. And this one is definitely broken. So yeah, you can see this guy had snapped off inside of it, and that's why it was all loose. And then you just have your electrical connectors on the back side. So when they're not broken, this guy just sits in here. It's supposed to work properly. This is why mine was loose, is because it was snapped on the inside. So we're going to take out these connectors back here. I usually just use a flathead screwdriver, and these things just pop right out. And with a little finessing, it just popped right out. And so yeah, it was just this one connector here. It also has your other wiring harnesses on them, so definitely be careful when you take it out that you don't do any damage to these, because this other set of wires is what does your ignition here. So you gotta be really careful when you take it out. If it doesn't go easily, guys, don't force it, just take your time. It will come out. It may be frustrating, but the worst thing you can do is get agitated and then try and force it out. Because if you break that or break the wiring behind it, you could be in deep shit. So yeah, just nice and easy, take it easy, it'll come right out. So now we're going to put the new unit in here, which I just bought. Brand new selector on this guy. And we'll just plug it in right here and pop it in and put everything back together, and that'll be a wrap on this one. Okay, real easy, just plugged it in. It actually just slides in this way. Slides in, these screw holes line up. So we're going to go ahead and put our little tiny screws back in it. Careful not to lose these. If you lose them, there again, go to fasteners. They hook it up. Nice cheap parts, guys. They do everything. Pretty much that's why they're called fasteners. Anything you need, as long as you have a replica or you can measure it, they'll figure it out for you. Screws now. And we'll get those buttoned up, and then we'll get our two main screws out that we use just to have this whole unit manipulate really easily to get the unit out. And then we'll put the plastics back on, and we'll move on to this guy. Alright guys, so I got all the screws back in, units put in. It's always a good idea to test these, make sure everything's working properly. And that includes all the little switches it comes with. You want to make sure that everything is properly working before you go ahead and stick it all back together. It's just going to save you a lot of time and effort. That way you don't get the whole unit put back in. Come to find out, it was like a relay or a fuse that was really bad. Not in my situation where mine was completely busted off. But yeah, if it just stops working suddenly, you definitely want to check the units and make sure that is what the issue was. If not, go ahead and clean it up as much as you can and take it back. As long as it looks like you haven't installed it, they'll take it back. And then with putting these plastics back in, just the same way you guys took them out. Patience when it comes to plastics is a key. I just kind of finesse them in. Just real lightly, just kind of like shake it back and forth. If it doesn't want to go, you never want to force anything in. So if it doesn't go, just kind of take it and like work it, but don't exert a lot of pressure into it. And it'll usually pop back in. And it might not do it right at first, so it might be a bit frustrating. But yeah, just take your time. Do it right. Worst thing you want to do is have to go and try and find something like this that's still in good condition, especially with this being a 93. These aren't the most prevalent parts to be found even in wrecking yards, because usually once they hit a wrecking yard, some Joe Schmo decides he's he needs the ignition tumbler out of it and just busts everything out of it. So they're really hard to find and brand new. They're 150, 200 bucks. And there we go, guys. Got all the plastics put back in. So this one's a done deal. We can go ahead and cross this guy off. Our next step now is going to be taking this out. You got to pop these little things off of here. So sometimes they pop easily, sometimes not. There again, they are plastic, so definitely take your time getting them off if they don't come easily. What I like to do is I just take a standard screwdriver and just kind of like put it behind it and pinch it with my thumb and just give it a pop out, and that most of the time will do it for you. There we go. See, just popped it right off. And with those out of the way, we can start pulling this face off. There you're just going to use like a flathead screwdriver. There again, be very careful. Everything is plastic. So you just want to go kind of around the edges of this and try and find a good bite so you can just pop it out. And I'll set the camera down so I can go ahead and just pop this unit out and I'll show you. Real easy, just take it easy, go around the edge and just slowly work it kind of towards yourself and the whole thing will slide out. Alright guys, was able to fix this head unit here. To only blow heat though, the cable inside that goes to the blend doors is damaged. It's kind of my worst fear with this one. So I ended up having to take this out because this is an aftermarket tape deck. Don't ask me why it's a tape deck. But it did have the prongs that went up to help this whole unit in. I also had to take out all these plastic pieces all the way around to be able to get this one to slide out of here. Now normally you can just take a screwdriver and pop them straight out. This one didn't want to do that. Next time we're going to do the VHT. You can see on my Taurus out through the front of this car, those headlights are pretty nasty. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm hoping tomorrow I can do that video, if weather permitting, how to make it so they look brand spanking new in that permanent fix I was talking about for you. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.